All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel. Today, I'm super excited to have Theo Murdaugh. Theo, how's it going, man?
It's going good, Chris. How you doing, man?
Doing well. And by the way, he runs the Run It Up group, and it's one of the most exciting groups that I've seen in a really, really long time. And I'm Theo. I'm just pumped to can have this conversation. Hopefully you are too. But I'm ready and
I'm
pumped.
excited, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate, you allow me to come on and share our story. We're everywhere. It blew up so fast. So, we were still playing catch up to the growth. Last year was
Yeah.
insane, but this year it's been even better from an organizational standpoint. So no, I'm really excited.
That's great. Before we get into kind of run it up and some exciting things there,
Mm.
I want to know you. I want to get to know who you are a little bit. Obviously you're in the running community. When did you start running? What are you doing? How did it begin? Let's start there.
Yeah, I've been a runner for most of my life. I tell people I've been running for a serious runner for over maybe 12 years. Done multiple marathons. I've done countless halves, Ks. I've never been like a big weightlifting guy. I always find weightlifting to be boring. It's just not my,
Yeah.
even though runners should strength train. So I'm not
100%.
let me make sure I say that right now. But I've been a runner all my life, 10 plus years. I didn't run in college or anything like that. I kind of picked it up as a hobby, probably back in 2010. And then I just got addicted to it.
Yeah.
I've worked in the automotive sector in corporate America for 15 years. So I've moved 7 times in like 14 years. So I've always been a part of run clubs. And of every new city that I moved to, I always joined a run club. So I've always been in. I tell people running clubs aren't new. They're just like cool now. Back when I was running in them, they really weren't that cool. It was like a very
Yeah.
small community. The run clubs I used to go to, like the minimum mileage was like 10. It was just like
Hmm.
insanity. So I've always been a runner, always been in the run clubs. Born and raised in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring running to not bring running to Dallas, not the right way to say it, but bring a new aspect to running to this city. And it's been a blessing ever since.
Well, we'll talk about what that means to you here in a minute. But so you started running 10 or 11 years ago. How'd you get into it? What was or 12 years ago? What got you kind of excited about it? Is it 5K or 10K? What's
It was
the,
a 5K. It was a 5K when I was living in Orlando, Florida. This probably had
Mhm.
to be back around 2009, like 2010-ish. Didn't train, ran a 5K, ran this little road race in downtown Orlando. Finished it, I think, in a little bit under 30 minutes. Now, granted, I'm in my 20s. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm in I'm in more top tier shape. I think I'm like 24, 25-ish. I'm 38 now. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna run a half marathon. I didn't have a training plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I
That sounds
completely
normal, by the way.
yeah, that's like everybody that runs. I went completely
Exactly.
rogue on my training plan, and I think I ended up I run it was the Orlando Half Marathon. I think I ended up running it in 2 hours and 30-ish minutes. Started
Okay. Of
cramping at mile 10, didn't train. I think my
course.
training was just run as many miles as you can for the week and figure it out from
Yeah.
there. So it was horrible. And then when I ended up moving to Kansas City a few years later for work, I joined this running group called KC Rockin' Runners. They met up in this suburb in Liberty, Kansas. No, Liberty, Missouri.
Yeah.
And it was this one lady. She was like a third grade teacher. And I remember we would meet in front of this bar, and she and the leader would come out and be like, "Hey, welcome, blah blah blah, all that stuff." Minimum miles is like 10 miles. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and maximum was like 20. I'm like, "What in the hell?" And
The
I remember
maximum's
I'm
20.
running. I think I maxed out like a 6 or 7, and she pushed me. And this lady, I cannot remember her name, but she kinda put me on game about how to train. You need to
Yeah.
do intervals, you need to do speed work, you need to do easier paced distance runs, you need to do track work. I
Yeah.
mean, she kinda put me on game, and that's kinda where my running journey really started taking off, and I started being more intentional about my runs. So it's a lot better than what it used to be 10 plus years ago. Now there's a method to the madness when it comes to running.
Well, Theo, I'd hope so.
Absolutely
You
love
have
it.
one of the largest running groups in DFW, so hopefully your running's got a little bit better and a little bit smarter. I
100%.
love it though. And then so you start running in Kansas a little bit. Somebody helps you kind of figure it out a little. What then transpired? Like decided to run another half, or what happened?
Yeah, I decided to run a half. I ended up running the Chicago half. I drove from
Right.
Kansas City to Chicago, ended up running the Chicago half. I was fully trained. I learned about gels and when
Yeah.
to take them and hydration and all that stuff that makes a difference in running. So ended up running the Chicago half in 2015. 2015,
Okay.
drove to Chicago from KC, finished at about an hour, 50 minutes. And the goal
Nice.
I set and the night and the young lady that was training me, she's like, honestly, your goal should just be to finish because this is like your first real intentional half. I'm like, that's great, but I want to get under 2 hours. If I get under 2 hours, I'm gonna be perfectly fine. Ended up
Yeah.
getting under 2 hours. That race was awesome, by the way. The medal's probably about this big. It's a big
Nice.
gold medal, and then that just took off. And I'm like, wow, like I got addicted. So I started running more 5Ks, more 10K, smaller races in Kansas City. And then the run club that I was a part of, I really started like transitioning into a real like distance runner. And it really changed my life. That run club, KC Rock Runners, they wouldn't know it. They would probably know me who I was today. But those people really changed my run journey because people really taught me how to run the right way instead of just running
Yeah.
rogue how I was doing.
I think that, that's part of what a run club's supposed to do, right? And
Correct.
so, and I'm sure that if you were to go back to them and thank them, they'll really appreciate that, and who knows, you never know if they might ever listen, but that's the point. Like you have a run club and the goal is to tell people, in my opinion, the right ways to run, or at least give them solid advice, on,
Correct.
look, it's fine that you go out your first 5K, half marathon to just blow yourself up, but
Mhm.
there's a right way to do it. You've got long runs, you've got and don't run them hard, you've got, speed runs, you've got, whatever, and that kind of stuff. So I love that. And that
Absolutely.
you kind of talked about that run club that helped you. And so did you ever run a marathon? Did you ever get up to that or what's the
You know what? I didn't run one until actually I got here to Dallas. I
okay.
was a little bit like, that is not my space. I'm not in it. I
Yeah.
don't like marathon training.
So
I
long.
did distance runs. I did 18 milers, 20 milers. So I
Okay.
ended up running, BMW a few years ago. And it was just like, it was a nightmare. I cramped that
It's a
mile.
shit show.
Cramped at mile 20, an absolute shit show, cramped at mile 20 on the big hill, and, walked, jogged it the rest of the way, and it's been a lot better since then. Mess.
Marathons are hard, man. I've done a
Absolutely.
few myself, and I think the time it takes to train, and you could do everything right. And that day of a marathon, look, I'm not being negative about marathons, but you don't know what's going to happen that day of a marathon. Maybe it's too hot, maybe it's too cold, or maybe you're not feeling well, or maybe you're feeling great and something blows up, and you spend all that time and effort running, training for a marathon, and now you messed up. Like
Absolutely. I
it
like
just,
halves. I'm a
yeah,
half
same,
marathon guy.
same,
It's fun. I just feel like the training is not overly intense, at least to me. Some
exactly,
people that are
same,
newer don't like it. Marathon training over the last few years for me has just been like absolutely just a nightmare. I'm taking a break this year.
yeah,
I did the Memphis St. Jude a few years ago, which wasn't too bad, but I'm a half marathon guy, that's my bread and butter. But next year is going to be my marathon space. This year's not my marathon
really,
space.
wow.
Next year we're gonna turn up on the marathons. I'm rolling my eyes. I hear the people in my group being like, "Yeah, right," but we're gonna make
I'll
it
tell
work.
you, you and I are a lot alike, I think, in that, I've run marathons, I've done Ks and things like that, but,
Oof.
my bread and butter is also half marathons. And to me, it's just, I can go run a half marathon every month if I
Mhm.
wanted. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just a lot easier on me and a lot better for training. And just, I don't have to sit there all day, every day to kind of train. So
Correct.
I love that. Do you do a lot of 5Ks or
I don't like 5Ks.
they're hard?
I
They're
feel
really
like
hard.
it's a 3-mile sprint, and if
Yeah.
I'm not out there in the front sprinting, I don't really care. So I'm
Yeah.
more, give me a good 10K, and I don't like paying for
Okay.
5Ks. So give
Yeah.
me a
They're expensive.
10K any day. I think 10Ks are just challenging enough and quick enough to have a really good run. But
Yeah.
I've never been a 5K guy. I just don't I
Hmm.
don't like them. And some people can be like, "Oh, I don't like 5Ks." That
So something that, I've run 5Ks a lot in the past, but not like over the last several years. And so
Mhm.
this year was a little different because I was talking to, over the summer, it gets really hard to run hard distance wise. So if you're
Yeah.
training for a half marathon, to go out and run a half marathon in the summer is really difficult. To run, a lot of miles in the summer is tough. So how do you get speed work? And this one guy, his name's Matt Campbell.
Mhm.
He runs with the sloths. I don't know if you heard of those guys, but really
Yeah.
fast dudes. But
Mhm.
anyways, he's like, Chris, I'm gonna run a lot of 5Ks this summer. And the reason is because I can get a lot of speed work in, and that I don't have to do long speed work. It's just difficult. And
Yes.
so I did that, and we'll see if it pays off in September because I have a half marathon coming up. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a bunch of them. And so well, I think there's maybe a place for training, like summertime in Texas,
Oh,
and so,
absolutely, and I don't
um,
ever knock anybody for doing 5Ks. The
yeah,
guys and girls in our group that do them, I mean, it's just when I see them cross that finish line, they look like they just ran a half or a marathon because they literally are doing it under 20 minutes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they're running through a freaking wall, and it's a hard race. I tell people, "Oh, I'm just gonna do a 5K." I'm
agree,
like, "But if you're really gonna do a 5K and try to get your best time and compete in a 5K, that shit is absolutely difficult. It is not
100%.
5Ks are not light work when you're really that's like you just said, it's speed. You're testing your speed. It's a speed training workout. And then when you're out there in that atmosphere, regardless of the size of the race, you're up like, okay, I only got it's only 3.1 miles. I want to turn up a little bit. Everybody turns
Yeah,
up for a 5K. That's why I don't like them because I turn up too much and I'm always dead afterwards.
we all do. I'm running that first mile, 30 or 40 seconds faster than the second mile,
Yeah,
and then,
that's
um
exactly it.
and something I'm really excited to talk to you today about is your running club. And
Mhm,
so I thank you for telling me a little bit about your background. Just wanted to
mhm.
kind of, I've never met you before. And so, but you're now in Dallas. Is this like, what made you kind of decide to start a running club? Did you start running up Dallas, or how did it all happen? Like, I don't even know. Like, when did you get into this?
Yeah, yeah. So I started running up March 1st of last year.
Oh, wow. No.
We're I told we're a nonprofit startup company. That's literally what we
Okay.
are. We are a nonprofit, but started March of last year. I used to lead another run club out here for a few years. I started a chapter of that run club, and it was a really good experience.
Can I not say the run club? Because I think I know what it is.
It was ZFT Run Club.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
started
exactly.
ZFT Run Club, the Dallas chapter in 2020, like right
Okay.
before,
So
right
you've
when the
had some,
lockdown. Yeah.
so you've had some experience doing it. Okay.
100%. Started that right when the lockdown happened, like a week
Yeah.
after, and I'm just like, "All right,
Oh,
well, we're inside, but they say we couldn't go we're allowed to go outside, so we're gonna start that." So I did that for a few years, and, we did a really good job. We were averaging maybe
you
around
sure
80 to
did.
100 runners. It was very present. We were on the news. Really good things happened, and then I kinda wanted to transition out and kinda
Mm,
do my own thing. I saw a bigger vision for running
mm.
in this space. So I started March 1st of this year, run it up. And I kid you not, Chris, in about we averaged that first month anywhere between like 30 and 40-ish runners. We had at the end of March going into April, I did one video at White Rock Lake in front of White Rock Lake Ale House. And it was like 20 people there. And I just was on my knees recording them running by me. That video went viral. Half a million
Wow.
views in under a week. And the next time we went out there, it went from 50 to 100, 100 to 200. It got so big that the landlord in that area sent us a cease and desist letter because we were
No.
taking up all the, I'm not even kidding. We're taking up all the parking lots, you know?
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and it blew up ever since. It blew up ever since. And I started running up really to really answer your question. I started running up, number one, I wanted to impact the community more just outside of running. We're a nonprofit, we're a 501(c)(3). We have the Run Up Foundation. We promote cardiovascular health, mental wellness, and mental health in predominantly, black and brown communities. But
Yeah.
also, running is such a snobby, stuck-up sport, and I really think it is. And I'm a
True.
snobby, stuck-up runner. Some of our more experienced runners and
Yeah.
runner-up are stuck-up runners. I wanted to create a
Don't
space
disagree.
running is not intimidating. You can go to run clubs, and
Mhm.
most run clubs, there's no big group stretch. You just kinda show up. Nobody and if you're not an experienced runner, nobody's gonna really talk to you. There's no real group
Mhm.
stretch. It's like a long route, so you're gonna get lost on the route, and that
Mhm.
intimidates a lot of the newer runners. I can go to any run club and go run with them and be perfectly fine. I don't
No
need the music.
problem.
I don't need the warm up. I don't need all the shit that we do. I don't need none of that. I just wanna go run.
Yeah.
But 99% of the community needs community, and they need a
Wow.
structure that is inviting, that is inclusive, and you kinda wanna feel wanted and welcomed, and that's what I was able to do starting Run It Up, which is why it's grown so much.
So something I asked you on the pre-show and asked if it was okay, and you said yeah. So
Yeah.
is that, as I've been part of run clubs for a long time. I've run Dallas Running Club. I run with White Rock Running Co-op and Pegasus and other
Mhm.
clubs like that. And one thing I've always noticed, and I've noticed this for a while, and thought about this, is that although there are African Americans that are there, but there's not that many, right? And maybe a couple. And I always thought, so I look around, it's like, well, we're all white. So it could be partially because maybe they feel intimidated or,
Mhm.
whatever. And so from what I can see, when I look at your run club just on Instagram and things like that, I think, wow, man, this guy has created something amazing. I mean, you
Mhm.
guys are fucking dancing and partying and
Yeah.
all this. I mean, really buff people, beautiful, wonderful. I don't know, like I'm like, holy shit, like these guys having fun and dancing and shit,
Yeah.
just and I love that. Like I don't like you're right. Like, marathon runners, half marathon runners, we're pretty serious about our running,
Mhm.
and we're kind of snobby about it. And I don't deny that. Like I don't want to be, but the last like if you're going to go out and run a half marathon, right? And then somebody comes and only wants to run 2 or 3 miles. To us, we're like, well, we gotta go run a half marathon, for training. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you're just SOL kind of thing. And so what you've created to me is very much needed and really awesome. Like I don't know what you did on getting people there, how some one video just kind of exploded, which I do Instagram all the time. I can't get anything to explode, So,
I'm still figuring out Instagram and TikTok, Chris, so you're not alone. I'm telling you, I don't like it personally, so that's why
it's
I
tough.
oh,
It's
it's
a
awful.
lot of stuff you have to keep posting all the
Absolutely.
freaking time, and so kudos to you. So tell me more about that. Like,
Yeah,
how do
and
you
I
kind
tell
of
people
promote it, do things like that? What's the
yeah, and honestly, when we were talking earlier, all the run clubs I've ever been in, a part of, were all white.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
me and a few other brothers and sisters, and that's it. You know what I mean? It was just,
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot. And, I always kind of wonder, like, why don't we run? Like, my brother ran track at Ohio State. It's like,
Yeah.
but he's like, oh, I don't want to go out and run 3, 4 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I think for African Americans or people of color, I think when they saw Run It Up, I think it gave them kind of a sense of belonging because when they walk up to Run It Up, there's a DJ, there's
uh
music playing. It's like this family reunion, cookout, homecoming, historically black college vibe that resonates with a lot of us.
yeah.
When they walk up to Run Up, like, oh, this is kind of a party. So everybody's not being
Yeah.
overly serious. People are actually coming up to me and saying hi and saying, good afternoon. Do you run? Oh, they're
Yeah.
just as naive as me about running. Okay, great. So I'm not in this space like going to Pegasus. I tell people from my group that go to Pegasus, they run. Like they ain't no joke, ain't no group
They're
one.
really fast.
And they're really fast. There's no freaking DJ. They start on time. Like it's
Yeah. They're not.
they do a great job.
Yeah. Of
But with
course.
us, I wanted to create a space where the African Americans will go to predominantly white run clubs and nobody may
Right.
not say anything, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it's more of people are just locked in. That's just the
Yeah.
culture of that group. Hey, look, I got a 15-mile day. I don't have freaking time
Yeah.
to sit there and greet you and talk to you
Yeah.
and tell you, thank you so much for coming. I got to go
Yeah.
run 15 miles at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not in a good mood when I got to run that distance early in the morning. But I think what separates Run It Up from these other run clubs out here is there's a very inclusive
Mhm.
environment. It's a welcoming environment for all people of all races, all colors, and things like that. But for people of color, it's like, wow, this is the first space that I've ever really seen where I feel invited, I feel
Mhm.
welcomed. A lot of these people aren't expert runners and things like that. And it just kind of keeps people coming back. And honestly, we just create an atmosphere where this is fun. We're gonna come out, we're gonna
Yeah.
go run. Yeah, if you want to be a part of our 5:30 a.m. training group that's run by our run captain, be a part of that group. That group is focused, locked in, they're training for the
Mhm.
big races. But if you want to come in and build community, do a little bit of cardio in an environment that you're used to and comfortable in, I think that's what's kind of separate us. We focus more on the community aspect and then we
Yeah.
add the running as well.
What's your favorite part of that whole club there? I mean, for you, look, I mean, you're really well known within that community and even outside of the community, from a running standpoint. Is it hard? I guess my question is like, you kind of being one of the leaders or the leader, the
Mhm.
founder, and all that stuff. Is it hard to just be yourself, or is it? I mean, because I'm sure you have people coming up to you all the time saying stuff and
Oh, yeah,
things like that. I
absolutely.
mean,
I
so
love
what
it.
is that like?
I'm an extrovert. So if nobody's
Yeah,
talking to
well,
me, I'm
obviously.
offended. Like, why aren't you
Yeah,
talking to me? Like,
exactly.
why aren't you fucking speaking to me? Like, talk to me.
Yeah,
But my favorite part is just kind of watching the people. Honestly, it's watching the people grow into runners, right? We have our pace
yeah,
groups, right? We average around 250 to 300 people like Monday and Tuesday runs. So we have to have our pace groups. So we have everything from a 7, 8 minute mile all the
mm,
way to a walking group. And the best part of this, and it's going to sound very cliche and like, oh, I expect you to say that, Theo, is I love seeing our walkers graduate into runners. I want to see
yeah,
our walking group dwindle a little bit. We've had walkers start at that walking group, all of a sudden they're in the 13-minute pace group. Then from the
Yeah.
13-minute pace group, they graduate to 11 to 12, 9 to 10, and then hopefully they get to that 7 plus, group. That's really the awesome part because there are people that want to come out there and like, look, I want to go run my first 5K. How do I do this? I want to run my first 10K. We have people in the group that don't understand how race day works. What is packet pickup? What do these bibs do?
Yeah.
Like we have that, and
Yeah.
I love that because we can train a new group of people to get into something that they never thought they'd get in. So, and then at the end of the day, it helps build community. A lot of these people are coming up through the trenches with each other.
Yeah.
Hey, I was a walker with so and so here. We banded
100%.
together. Then I told them, you know what? Give us a month. We're going to be in that 13 group. Then they're in that 13 group, and now they're all friends and hanging out. Now they're inspired
Yeah.
to go run a 5K, and then they tell their other friends about it. And that's literally how we have grown. It's a very
Yeah.
crawl before you walk group, and we have transitioned people into our Council 5K people program had 40 plus people. A lot of these people now are getting to run their 10K, and there's a good handful that are now getting ready, that are preparing to run the BMW half. So it's the inclusivity of the group that's really, really helped us grow.
Something that you said that is so interesting to me, and I was thinking about this the other
Mhm.
day. So I forgot who I was talking to, but is that some people don't even know anything about packet pickup or just your basics of whenever they sign up for a race. They wouldn't know. Like you sign up for a 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, whatever. There's this whole day before the race,
Right.
that especially at like Dallas, BMW Dallas,
Mm.
you go pick up your packet, you go do all these things.
Correct.
But that, they don't even know. Like, I mean, how would they know? They've never done it before. Oh, a packet, no, you can't go on race day and do it. You have to go the day before the race and pick it up. What? I didn't know that.
I'm
We'll
telling
read
you,
your
you'd be
emails.
so surprised when we ran, like we ran Hot Trot not too long ago and Amped as well. And some people
Mm.
literally were coming over to us, like our new runners. So, like, thinking it's our race. So, what's the route like? Or how did you guys design this? I said, no, 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 we're guests here. We didn't
Yeah,
organize any of this. Like, we are, you know what I mean?
they
And,
didn't know.
you kind of think
Yeah,
it's common knowledge, but to the not average runner, that's a foreign territory, but we've been very patient, and we have developed people into understanding the process of running, the
yeah.
process of what packet pickup looks like, and the process of what it's like going to these races, and we've really created some really good runners from that.
Now, do you guys have? So it's running up Dallas. So is there other run it ups across the U.S. or Metroplex or
It
what?
is just us.
Okay.
People always ask me like, "Hey, you should start a Fort Worth chapter or a,
Hmm.
San Diego chapter or whatever else." And I haven't been into that because number one, it's a lot of work, and it's hard to
Yeah,
find people that really want to put in the time. I mean, this thing is taking on my freaking life. And I
yeah,
love that, but it still takes over your life.
yeah,
So we don't really I'm probably not in the space of being able to do that. What we normally do is try to take it on the road and go to
yeah.
different cities and run in different cities, like we're going to Detroit, or we're gonna start hosting runs in different cities across the country and things like that. So we're trying to bring the run up experience all over the place, collaborating with other run clubs as well to do
I
that
think that's
in the
key. Yeah.
near future. But starting chapters across the country, it's a lot of work.
Mm.
People don't do shit. So I wanna do that.
Yeah. I mean, what does running up look like, from a group standpoint? Like when you think about like who runs what is, I mean, what is I'm into business stuff sometimes. So
Come on,
I'm just curious, what does
let's
that
go.
look like?
Yeah, I have 15 people on my team,
Okay.
all women, and they do a really good job. So we have Run It Up Dallas and we have the Run It Up Foundation.
Hmm.
So I got a program manager on, the Run It Up Foundation side, a
Makes
marketing
sense.
director that handles both the foundation and Run It Up Dallas. On the running side, I have a run captain, Cornetta Mosley. She does all of our training. We have ambassadors. We have somebody that's over the Pacers. I have a data analyst that tracks run. Cause we write a lot of grants. And,
Yeah.
so we like to track a lot of the data and where people are coming from so we can input that data for our grants. I got a program manager. I got 3
So
girls
smart.
that run my social media page now, marketing director, social media manager, she's gonna get mad. I forgot her title. And content creator, manager, So we got that. And then again, I got a director of program management. And then I have 2 other girls that work under her on the foundation side where we do health clinics and we
Mm.
do like mental health seminars. We have a financial wellness seminar with Chase Bank coming up as well. And then I got a director of program partnerships as well. So she oversees a lot of the run operations. So it's a well-oiled machine. It's very organized,
Yeah.
structured. I could use like 20 more people.
Sure.
It's really, really good, and it's very, very organized, and a
Now
direct
is this
credits as well.
yeah, well, I
It's a
mean,
machine,
just in
man.
1 year, just in a year or a
1
little
year.
over a year, you've created a monster, man, and I mean and organized it very well, so that's pretty impressive. And is this basically your full-time job now? Is that what you do is
No, it is not my
Oh, okay.
full-time job. Like I said, I've been in the automotive sector for 15 years in corporate America.
Yeah.
Most recently was with Nissan, worked with General Motors. And, during my time with Nissan, I was back and forth between here and Oklahoma a lot,
Mhm.
a lot. I was traveling for national meetings all over the place. And when Run It Up really started blowing up, it's like, man, I really want to start, pouring into Run It Up. I got my
Mm,
daytime job as well. I took a smaller role with a smaller company so I
okay.
can kind of balance the two. So I work for another automotive company. I meet with dealerships. I talk to owners and executive managers and help them drive business back into the dealer and the retail space. So I'm a
Okay.
sales guy, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
I'm a sales guy,
Well,
100%. But it's a great gig. It's called Cars Direct, great company based out of El Segundo, which is, in the suburb of LA. I was just out in LA for work last week as well,
okay.
running in 70-degree weather with no humidity off the
It's
ocean,
pretty
which is
nice.
really good. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I do both, and it's, there's not enough time in the day, but the girls on my team really take a lot of stuff off my plate where I'm not, like, pulling my hair out.
I love it, man. Like, you figure out a way to kind of balance it as best you can, and that's really cool. Does so you mentioned grants. So I'm just curious because I don't know. Like when you mention grants and stuff, is that how Run It Up kind of makes money to really do some of these things? What's the
Yeah, so our foundation side, like I said, we host a lot of health clinics. Like we have some
yeah,
coming up in October. We did a mental health awareness seminar, and we do financial stuff as well, cardiovascular screenings, all that stuff. And there's a lot of health and wellness grants available, micro grants for startup nonprofits and things of that nature. So I always have my data analysts carve
mm,
up some data over the last quarter or even last year to show year over year growth, month over month growth.
mhm,
What county are people coming from? Or most of our audience either coming from underserviced communities or highly serviced communities. And again, we're here to fight cardiovascular health in Black and Brown communities. In the Black community in particular, high blood pressure runs rampant, heart
yeah,
disease. A lot of people are had pre hypertension. We partner with the Black Heart Association. So at our races, we have Black Heart come out and they do free health screenings to see
wow,
if you're on track to have a heart attack or you have issues or
jeez,
and your
yeah,
family. Oh, yeah, like, it's for real. So, there's a lot of grant dollars available to
mm.
fund initiatives like that. Some we get approved for, some we get denied for. The grant cycle is a
You
is a
just
is
keep
a
pushing,
just keep pushing. Every grant that comes up, even if we don't apply even if we don't qualify, guess what, Chris? Fucking
you're
apply to me. I
applying.
don't care.
Yeah,
So so that's where, and again, we just actually finished a children's program with an national organization called LULAC. We did a program with them. They're tied to the Upward Bound program, first generation college students, and we did a 5-week health and wellness program for them as well. We do a
oh,
lot of stuff just outside of running, which is why I wanted to start Running Up to really
yeah.
impact the community outside of running, especially the underserviced communities here in Dallas as well.
How did you like I wanna go back to the growth thing, like,
Mhm.
I'm just so amazed that you grew so fast, but you created this whole entire kind of ecosystem of, "Hey, it's me and then all these other people," these 14 other people or however many you said to really help run it. I mean, how'd you figure that out so fast? I mean, what were you was it like, "Okay, I need somebody to do this, I need somebody to do oh my god," and then you just get them all and say, "Hey, you're a marketing director, you're this, you're that, and
Yeah.
then, this is how it's gonna work." I mean,
Yeah.
what is that like? I mean, so quickly.
No, I was last year was I tell people last year was it was stressful, it was fun, it
Yeah.
was hell. Last year was hell.
Yeah.
And, growth is great, but growth can hit you in the face and it can hurt really,
Especially as
really
fast
bad.
as you guys grew,
And it hit me
like
in the freaking face. So, it
yeah,
was me and another girl, Rakia, who's our director of partnerships and logistics. And
yeah,
I remember we were managing the run. It was just us 2, managing the runs at Katy Trail. And I
yeah.
remember the one day, I think we had around 175, 200 people on Katy
Hey.
Trail on the back end where American Airlines is at, where Local Tap and
Mhm.
Table's at. And I'm just like, I'm looking around and it's just me and her. And she's like this tall. She's little. I'm just like, you know what? I need some juice. I need some people. So
Yeah,
I reached out to some people who I either like knew from ZFT or people who've just kind
mm,
of been with me in the run space for a while. But it took me probably a year to build this team.
sure.
We ended up having 7 total people last year. which
Mm,
wasn't enough people. But the good thing about my team is I met a few of them at some events. I saw them work at some events, like Maya,
mm,
for example. She's our marketing director. I saw her work an event that I was at. I'm like, God, you are really talented and you're
mm,
directing people. My director, my program director for the Run Up Foundation side, she was at that same event. I'm like, you are
mm,
really, really good with program management. You got us all in the right places. What do you guys think about working for Run It Up? You know?
mm,
And the good thing about having ladies on your team, they'll pick holes to your organization, stuff that
yeah,
you don't even see. And I was able to build a team honestly just by asking and saying, "Look, I'm a startup company. You know, I can pay you what I can pay you. You know, I
yeah,
can't pay your rent or your mortgage right now, but we're going to get there. But here's
yeah,
the business plan. Here's where I expect to be in 5 years. Here's the
okay,
growth engine. Here's where we make our money. Here's where our opportunities are. Here's what I'm going to do in the next 5 years. This is what
mm,
we're going to be." And I tell people we are a startup nonprofit, and that is not the sexiest thing in the world. That is slow
no,
growth, low money. And if you are not here for the grind, I get it. But I think a lot of them understood the vision. They understood what I wanted to do. And you know this. When you have a team and you build a team, you have to sell them your vision. You have to sell your team.
yeah,
And if you're not
yeah,
selling your team every day, and they don't see a clear vision or means to an end, then you're done. It's over. And you'll lose people. And we've lost people along the way. You know what I mean?
sure.
We've lost some people. But the people that we lost, I really gained some good ones after them. But I met these people along the way. Some knew me from my old run club, some knew me from events that we both were at. I'm like, I think you're great. I just want to have a quick phone call with you. And a lot of them are like, let's do this thing. You know? So it's been a blessing.
So let's get into the running start stuff. So the big core group is folks that come in to run a couple of miles. Is that how that works? What?
That
Tell
is
me about
correct.
that. What? So so you guys meet on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesdays, and
So we meet every other Monday at Trinity Groves by
okay,
the Longkirk Bridge for 2 Mile Tuesday. Then every
mm,
other Tuesday in Deep Ellum at Canvas for 2 Mile Tuesday. So we go, if we're not running that Monday, we're going to run that Tuesday and so forth.
okay,
Our training group actually gets out there at 5:30 in the morning and everybody's on. Our run captain, she creates some really good training plans. So they'll have their days where somebody's doing 17, somebody's doing 18, somebody's got
yeah,
10. Everybody's training for different. That's like your race team. Like those are the
yeah,
people that are like, hey, I'm here to run an ultra. I'm here to run a half or a full. But then, they start at 5:30. Then the main group comes at 7:30 a.m. Fair Oaks Park, which is just on the outside of White Rock Lake. They do anywhere
yep,
between 2 and 6 miles. And then Sundays we're at Sam Houston Trail Park. That's more of our easy pace, zone two recovery
yeah,
run, anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. And that's every Sunday with the main group. So I tell people if you want to get intentional with your running, join our training group. We
yeah,
have beginner 5K plans, beginner 10K plans. We have advanced marathon, half marathon plans. But if you want to come out and like a lot of people are training for high rocks, which is all over the place. Some of the big meathead girl guys and
yeah. That's
girls,
right.
they're like, Theo, I got to come out here because I need to do 3 miles today. Boom. And they come out with our social group.
By the way, there's a lot of people I see on the Instas.
Oh yeah.
As these big buff dudes and really great looking people,
Yeah. What's so funny though? Like
beautiful people, by the way.
I
But
tell
it's just
people, don't let the muscle heads fool you. A
yeah,
lot of them run, and they're good runners, but
sure,
once they pass those cameras, about a half a mile, they're sucking
that's
wind.
right.
I tell them, just because you got a bunch of muscles, don't make you a good
Yeah.
runner.
As a matter of fact, the more muscles you have, the harder it is to run long
Very, very
distances
slow.
anyways.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
exactly.
that's just the reality, like the more weight you have to carry and muscle is going to be, a little bit heavier than fat. These
Agreed.
guys are, I'm not saying that there's not some good runners out there that can't do it that are muscular, but they're going to have a lot harder time, and generally I'll pass right by it.
Exactly. It's easy to beat them. They don't wanna
Yeah.
run with me, but a lot of them are doing a lot better and they're more intentional. And a lot of the muscle
Yeah.
people are like, "Hey, I wanna run BMW. I've never heard of it. I'm not really familiar." It's like, "You never heard of
No,
BMW?" I'm telling you, the group that we have, some people are like, "I think I've heard of that. Is that big race downtown during Christmas?" I'm like, "You know what? Close enough." So it's just
sort of.
like but we plan on having a really big number for BMW. We're gonna have
I'll be
well over
there. I'll
100
do the
people.
half. So,
Yeah, come
you
see us.
know,
We're gonna be out
I
there, we're
will
gonna be
for sure.
loud. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Don't worry, I will. I'll be a Sunday, so I
Yeah,
don't think I'll be there with 5K or 10K.
yeah,
But I'm thinking about coming out, so I'm gonna at least come out to one of your runs just to say hello and things like that. It'd be
absolutely.
fun. Couple questions, like as you kind of mentioned, training plans and stuff like that. Is this kind of is it free or do people have to pay for that? What does that look like?
100% free. On
Oh
TikTok,
well,
On TikTok, they'll tell you that we're not free, which I don't know where the hell they got that information from, but we're 100% free. Training plans are free. Everything we do really is free
Mm,
outside of some events and things like that
sure.
that come with a budget and costs and things of that nature. Cornetta does a great job building those training plans. I mean, there's track workouts, interval workouts,
Yeah.
there's endurance runs. There's some days like tomorrow, I got a 12-mile easy pace run. Then we
Yeah.
have some runs where it's, it's intervals and long distance interval trainings. So it's a really good training plan. And what I love about her plans is we have beginner, intermediate, and advanced, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's excluded. Those plans are free. We have a group me that is just for the people that are
Mhm.
intentionally training for those races. So it's good to get away from that main group and you can talk to our
Yeah.
ambassadors who are all really, really good runners. You can talk to our run captain, and it helps you with your intentions on running and your stupid questions maybe that you may be scared to ask people about what running shoes should you wear, or how do you get fitted for shoes? What's that process like? Or how do I train for a 5K? Or all
That's
the
all normal. Those are all normal questions, I
very
don't think
normal.
there's not that many dumb questions about running. You
No.
don't know what you don't know,
And
you
some of
know?
them are very scared, and the reason why I said stupid questions because
Yeah.
they'll come and be like, "Theo, I got a dumb question. What running shoe
Yeah.
should I get?" I mean, that's not a dumb question. There's some
It
running shoes
depends.
that are good for me. Others, I'm an Asics guy. I love Asics, you know? I can't wear Hokas. Hokas hurt my feet. I told the Hoka reps that. Like, every running shoe is different for every person, you know? So, um, you know, but it's a
Do you know
tip.
Carlos, the Hoka guy? Is that
I've known Carlos for a very long time. He actually
Okay.
came to one of my runs last year. That's my guy. Carlos is good. He's good
Yeah.
people. I know Carlos for a
Yeah,
long time.
he's been around for a long time and he's been around the running community for a long time, so
Absolutely.
and
Really good
he's
dude.
done
Really good dude.
he's done a great job of his social networking too.
Yeah, he has
He's
a huge
probably I mean, he's been doing it forever,
I'm
and
about to
so
say, he has a big following. Big fan is
it's
his
pretty
the
crazy.
thing is his posts are very funny. Like,
Some of them
there's
are,
always a
yeah.
comedic value behind Carlos's posts. Now, I don't get to talk to him as much as I used to, but I've
Yeah.
known him for at least, I think, God, 3, 4 years. It's probably a little more than that. So
So you guys have Dallas BMW Dallas, are most people gonna run the 5 and 10K, or is there some folks doing the half and full or anything like that you know of, or what's
we have
the
a nice mix. 50% are
okay.
doing the half full and some are doing the ultra. And then
Well,
we have a lot of people doing obviously the 5 and
yeah.
K. A lot of people were like, Theo, I've ran 4 10Ks with you guys this year. It's time for a half. It's time for my first half. And
Beautiful.
we have a lot of people training. We have a big training plan that we're going to post on Instagram for people that are new to running, that want to
Yeah,
run. I told people I think the marathon's already sold out. So if you're looking to do a marathon,
it is.
I think that's
Better
tapped.
hurry and do the half,
I
right?
tell
So
people, like, "Get on it quick." This is like running in
it's
the Super Bowl.
expensive too.
Like, God, it's very, very pricey. But, yeah, we're gonna have a training plan coming out on Instagram in the next few weeks for newer
Okay.
runners. If you wanna run your first marathon or half, even if you missed the deadline, still come out and train. Chevron
Yeah.
in Houston's coming up, I think, in January. You can always go
Yep.
down and run that, which I've ran the marathon for that before. And, jump in. I want people, like I said at our run this morning, step out of your comfort zone. Running is
Yeah.
scary. Running is intimidating. It's still hard for me after all these years. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we have the people, we have the training plans to get you through these races. We also have some run clubs coming to visit us as well. So we're going to be hosting about 3 or 4 different run clubs across
Like
the
who?
six
Cross country.
yeah, across the country. 6 run out of Nashville is
Mhm.
coming down. I think Peace Runners out of Chicago is gonna come down as well. So we're gonna do a big shakeout run Saturday morning with that group.
That's great, dude.
We're gonna have a big party. BMW is like a end of the year celebration run kind of for
Yeah.
at least for us. So we
Yeah.
wanna make it special for people. It's a lot of people's first 5K, 10K half, full, ultra, and we wanna make it really special for everybody. So I have a lot planned
I love it.
for the weekend for those events. So
That's pretty awesome, man. I
thank
really like that a lot because, um, if I think about it, so my wife has run many marathons and she's run 12 Boston marathons. And this
Ah,
last, so
that's
I don't
awesome.
really run marathons.
Yeah.
And so I get to go out to Boston with her and I'll run the 5K, but I'll get to, in doing this podcast over the last year. So I've just started back in October. They have like a shakeout run the day before, right? Like Pegasus is there. There's other running groups there and so I get to run with them, get to hang out with them. I've interviewed a bunch of them and
Mhm.
things like that. And so every year now, I can't wait to, tell my wife, like, you got to keep going to Boston. I've got my own thing now going on. So,
That's
you
awesome.
know,
12
uh,
times in Boston
yep,
that's
she's
called,
about to hit
"Here's your
13.
invite, come run in Boston." I love that. That is
Yeah,
dope.
that's exactly what happened. But the
Yep.
point is like what you're doing is the same experience that,
Mhm.
I'm getting or my wife's getting or others that are just coming down to Boston to do these things. You're doing this right in Dallas, and
Right.
so a lot of times I see like in some of our running groups, hey, just sign up for this thing and you just kind of you might know two or three, four people that you're doing it with, and maybe the group's doing, but it's never the together piece. And what you're doing is you're doing normal things. This is kind of what we've used to do in the past,
Mhm.
but everybody wants the community piece, man. And you're
Absolutely.
doing the community piece and you're making it feel very like welcoming and people want that. My friend so and so and we just know each other and we all hang
Right.
out. You're creating this amazing experience
Right.
that, that I feel like some of these running groups have got away from. I'm not saying that these running groups they don't have friends and stuff, but they're not the bonding piece is the
Correct.
key at the end of the day.
Right.
And I think that's what you're creating and it's awesome. I
No,
love it.
I appreciate that. Like when we go to races, like we put together a whole itinerary for the people that are running. So we had at
Yeah.
AM Top Trot, we
Favorite.
had 80 plus runners. We won biggest team, 80 plus runners. We had our tent out there, our music, our speakers. We had alcohol for people for after the race.
Awesome.
Like come by our tent, drop your stuff off. Like we're mobbing together. Like we're banding
Yeah.
together. We led the warm up, as well. So we, like you said, like I think a lot, and I'm not knocking other run groups at all because I've been a
I'm
run
not
group,
either.
but I
Me
think
too.
that the community piece, all run leaders can do a better job of just let's get people together. We can still have a serious 20-mile run day and train for races and be tough and stuff like that. But running is already
Yeah.
snobby enough. It's an individual sport, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's
Yeah,
an
of
individual
course.
sport. But if
Of
you want to
course.
tap into the brand new runner, which is the 99% versus that
Mhm.
1%, you kind of gotta, I'm not trying to say coddle, but you kind of have to put your
It's true.
arms around these people and be like, hey, look,
Mhm.
you don't know what a 5K is. It drives me nuts when somebody says it's a 5K marathon. I hate when somebody says that. It drives me crazy, but they don't know. So you got to put your hands around these people and be like, look, this is
How
what a
long is a
5K is,
5K?
okay? All that stuff. So we just try to make it inclusive and fun and not intimidating. And, we just want it to be a vibe. Like you can be a serious runner. You can run a marathon and do a two-step afterwards. Who cares? Like we're just trying to kick it, And I think that's why we've been able to get so many people out because you leave and like you feel like you went to a party and you made a new
Yeah.
friend or you
Well,
all that stuff.
you can see it on your Instagram
Oh, yeah, it's
or the
everywhere.
Run It Up Instagram. It's a party every like
And I tell people if you're because Mondays and Tuesdays can be very overwhelming for some people, more your
sure.
so I tell people if you want something a little bit more laid back from Run It Up, our Saturday runs get around
Mhm.
80 to 100 people. Sundays anywhere between like 50 and 60. So like if you need something more chill, the weekend runs are a little bit more like, all right, I feel this is good. Mondays and Tuesdays are just like it's like going to the club, man. It's just loud and everybody's doing everything. It's only 2 miles, so there's a pick of the litter for everybody.
So Monday, Tuesdays, then I assume it's at night, and that's
Yes,
maybe
7
why
PM.
people wanna come is they get off work and they can kinda chill with people
Correct,
or not chill, but run with people, and so the Saturday and Sundays are kind of the more hardcore stuff, and you're getting a
correct.
little less because in kind of and you probably know this, but in the let's just say the running groups that are doing the longer distances, Saturday is kind of the big groups, right?
Mhm.
Because they've got 13 miles or 10, they get the longer miles. Sunday is not it's kind of the same, and so but I do wonder, like, maybe that's kind of the key is to, if you're starting running groups and things like that, is have a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever night, Monday, and have it less miles, 3 miles, 2 miles, whatever. And
Exactly,
and it's just more there to hang out, get a little bit of running in and sweat in and, go party, have some food and drinks and whatever afterwards.
exactly.
Ski. Seit 25 Jahren Ski. Seit 25
Yeah.
Jahren begleitet mich Anusara Yoga.
Mhm.
Begleitet mich Anusara Yoga. Vieles hat sich verändert.
I
That
love it.
only went on Tuesdays, now they come on Saturdays, now they come on Sundays. Now they joined our Calcia 5K program. Use those freaking Monday, Tuesday, your weekday runs as your recruiting tool to get people to run those longer distance Saturdays.
It's a funnel. Like, I see what you're trying to do, like, and I think it's excellent. You get those beginner runners, and doing it for a little while, and then
Right.
funnel them into Saturday and Sundays to do a little bit
Yeah.
longer, and just, let's, if they want,
Das
but it's
Anusara
still kind of a
Yoga.
nice little,
Ski.
hey, come out and just do some small stuff, for Tuesday and Wednesday and get to know some people. But then if you want to do some longer stuff, we have training plans. We have people there that will get you through the longer stuff, and let's, do that. I love it.
Uh,
So when you look at the future, I only got a few more questions, I promise, but
no, you're good. Come on.
what does the future look like for Run It Up? As you look from the rest of this year into next year and maybe even to a few years out.
Yeah, we're going to take the show on the road. Our goal with Run It Up is to do races across the country,
Huh.
races on historically Black college campuses. A lot
Oh,
of
nice.
HBCUs are underfunded and things of that nature. So we want to come out, raise awareness to whatever causes they got going on, and get people moving their bodies. So we're actually going to do a run at Paul Quinn College for their homecoming in South Dallas that
Oh,
Saturday. I think it's November 1st or 2nd, whatever that Saturday is. We're going to do a run, 5K run, but also we're going to do what we call the pitch. We're going to have a lot of their college students we're going to put together a case study for them on poor cardiovascular health in the Black community
yeah,
in Dallas. And why is it like that versus other communities? And put together a case study for us, present that case study to myself. And I'm not a health professional, but some other health professionals. And, the winner gets $1,000, from us
nice.
and some of our sponsors. So we plan on doing that across the country to raise awareness for heart disease and just overall cardiovascular health and things of that nature. That's the big picture with Run It Up. We want to take the show on the road. We want to hit college campuses. We want to really spread our message and really help our people understand the importance of just moving your body and breaking those cycles of poor health. And
Yeah.
I think we're doing a good job of getting closer to that mission.
Yeah, I love that you have kind of a vision for Run It Up,
Mhm.
and that's just what it's going to make it to be successful. Is
Correct.
is a great vision like that, and
Correct.
I think it's solid, man. I love it, dude. That's
Appreciate
pretty
it, man.
awesome.
And we also, plan on hosting bi-monthly health clinics, for people with no insurance and,
Yeah,
quarterly mental health seminars, quarterly financial wellness seminars and things like that. So and we want to do that across the country. We want to put together wellness walks and things like that. So all
yeah,
of that is in the I need a staff of about 150 more people. Payroll's high with 15,
yeah.
but that's the big picture as well. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
Is there anything that I missed that you're like, Chris, we should have covered this, this, and this. You just didn't ask, or whatever, as you kind of think about kind of the things we did cover.
And I think, like I said, I appreciate you, having me on and things of that nature. And again, with Running Up, people list this as a dating club, or they list this as, oh, they don't really run, or they're full of shit. It's not the case. Our run captain just had a 18-mile day yesterday, right? We got
Yes.
60 plus people. We got 30 plus going to Detroit to run the Detroit International Half. I'll be up there as well. 4 or 5 miles goes through Canada. It's a really, really great race. I ran it a few years ago. We got 5 people in Sydney running the Sydney Marathon,
Awesome.
as well. We got a guy getting ready to go to Berlin. We got people doing New York, like, we got people doing Chicago. So we have people that
Yeah,
are running majors, you know what I mean? And then we got over, like, 80 people training for BMW, and we're probably gonna double that number once we put it on Instagram. So I think my message to be on this platform is that we run, we have fun, we kick it. We're a little bit louder than most run clubs, obviously, but
that's
at the end
true.
of the day, we are here to
I
run and
love
we're
it.
gonna keep making noise. We got to. Yeah, I gotta wake the other run clubs up, be like, look, if y'all gonna be quiet, I'm gonna be fucking loud.
I love it. I think that, look, you mentioned something about the dating thing or whatever. I think that, look, I met my wife at a running club, Dallas Running Club. So, you know what? Who cares? If
Exactly.
that's, I mean, it is what it is. You
Right.
got people that are going to meet and, maybe they get married or hook up. I don't know, whatever is it that they
Yeah.
do. You don't control that, but you have a platform that's healthy and
Right.
that's providing something that is going to help them be healthier over long term. And if they want to find somebody to date, good. Do it while running. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
We had a
I
couple
mean,
get engaged last year at Hot Trot.
perfect.
After
Yeah.
he
Okay.
placed first in his age group, or I think first overall, he popped the question,
Yeah.
and
So,
Ants played that video all over their social feeds. So
yeah, I would too. Like, I mean, they're just being smart, I would do the same. So, I mean, look, Theo, this has been amazing. And
I
look, what
appreciate
you're
it.
doing to me is amazing. And I think that it's needed within the Black community. And
Mhm.
it's really cool to see that somebody stepped up and made it happen. And you did it. And now the team's doing it. And you've created something just ridiculously big, but very organized and
Oh yeah,
very focused. And you have a great vision. I
I
think that
appreciate it.
I
There's a
wish you nothing but success.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate I tell you, I'm from Ohio. I'm not from Texas. I'm the Dallas community has shown up for me. They've shown up for my team. The girls on my team,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. The structure's been really good, and no, it's been a blessing. If I had to say one word, it's been an absolute blessing doing this, and we're going to continue to do this. And we're just going to continue to have fun and run and play loud music and two step. And come see us, Chris. Come on out, man. Come on.
I will for sure, buddy.
It's your time. Come on out, brother.
Okay. I will. You got me excited. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. Don't forget to rate and review us and go to our Substack. So dfwrunning.substack.com and look at all the things that have been written and subscribe to the email. Theo, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, brother. Bye. Bye.
Dude, that